The ovulation cycle, also known as the menstrual cycle, is a recurring physiological process in people with ovaries, typically lasting about 28 days, though it can vary between 21 and 35 days. It involves a complex interaction between hormones and reproductive organs that prepare the body for the possibility of fertilization and pregnancy. The cycle begins on the first day of menstruation, which marks the shedding of the uterine lining from the previous cycle. This bleeding occurs because the hormone levels of estrogen and progesterone have dropped, signaling the uterus to expel the endometrial tissue. During this phase, the pituitary gland in the brain begins to release follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, which initiates the growth of several follicles in the ovaries. As the menstrual bleeding subsides, the follicular phase progresses. Under the influence of FSH, several follicles start to mature, though typically only one becomes dominant. Each follicle contains an immature egg or oocyte, surrounded by cells that produce estrogen. The increasing levels of estrogen serve multiple functions. They encourage the growth and thickening of the uterine lining to prepare for possible implantation, and they also signal the pituitary gland to gradually reduce FSH production. The rising estrogen levels also trigger the release of another hormone, luteinizing hormone. Ovulation marks the midpoint of the cycle and is one of its most important phases. Around day 14 in a typical cycle, a sharp surge in LH causes the mature follicle to rupture and release its egg from the ovary. The egg, now ready for fertilization, is swept into the fallopian tube by the finger-like fimbriae at the end of the tube. The egg can survive for about 24 hours, during which fertilization by a sperm cell can occur. This moment represents the peak of fertility, and sexual intercourse during this time has the highest likelihood of resulting in conception. The rupture of the follicle also causes a brief rise in body temperature, a sign that some people use to track ovulation. Once the egg is released, the luteal phase begins. The ruptured follicle transforms into a temporary endocrine structure, known as the corpus luteum. This structure secretes progesterone, along with smaller amounts of estrogen, which together help maintain and further develop the endometrium in case fertilization occurs. Progesterone also prevents the release of additional eggs by suppressing LH and FSH production. If fertilization takes place, the embryo begins to produce human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG, a hormone that keeps the corpus luteum functioning to sustain pregnancy until the placenta develops. If the egg is not fertilized, it disintegrates within a day, and the corpus luteum starts to break down after about 10 to 14 days. As it degenerates, progesterone and estrogen levels fall sharply. This hormonal decline leads to the breakdown of the uterine lining, which is no longer needed to support a pregnancy. The endometrial tissue, blood, and mucus are then expelled through the vagina, marking the start of menstruation and the beginning of a new cycle. This entire hormonal interplay between the brain, ovaries, and uterus ensures that the body regularly prepares for the possibility of conception.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.